Yeah, you ain't no Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you're not even bald.
Yeah. Dude, I saw him flex today. Bro, he's a jack.
Dude, he's got
How old is
so
He's
much money and
57.
so many things. He's got the sensory deprivation tanks. He's got the cold
Peptides.
plunges. He's got all that
Hey,
stuff.
well, but here's
You've
the
had
deal.
this before, haven't you?
No,
It's just the regular blue.
I think I have.
It's still he still has to put in the work.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Like-
Don't make excuses.
Have you seen that?
I'm gonna
dude's-
make excuses.
Have you seen that dude's roundhouse kick? Holy shit!
Well, he fights too.
Yeah. Well, he did Taekwondo.
Yeah, he was like professional.
That's
He
delicious.
actually taught GSP how to kick.
Did you know for $300 you can get a water cooler that you can turn your bath into a cold plunge?
I saw that. Is
I'm
that the
gonna do
it
it.
like flaps over into the bathtub?
So it's just two cables. It's like an aquarium cold chiller, and you can get it down to like 39 degrees in your bathtub.
Yeah. For free, you can also just turn the handle all the way to the left.
Not to 39 degrees.
It's cold enough.
Hey man,
Throw some ice cubes in there too.
I'm a wuss.
I just need a little cold. I don't need my boys to retreat.
It's like,
You know what
I'm
I
in there
mean?
for 30
Boys,
seconds
your
to
boy?
a minute.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What do you consider your boys?
His other son. Well,
It's
we have
both
boys.
of them. You have one.
the
It's
twins?
your boy.
Okay, so the balls are the boys.
Yes.
What's the wiener then?
The ugly cousin.
That's
Yeah,
he's
it's
the
the boy.
leader.
The
It's a
boys
twin.
and the leader. The boys
walking
and the
stick?
ugly cousin.
I don't know.
Mine are Peter, Jimmy, and Timmy. But
He's the head of the group.
that was good. That was good.
Well, welcome back to Five's a Crowd. I'm bringing it in on that note.
All right.
Meet our friends. What were their names again, Cam? Jimmy, Timmy, and
Peter, Jimmy, and Timmy. You know who's who. It's pretty easy.
I don't know Jimmy and Timmy. Which one?
how do I know if I got
Depends.
Jimmy or Timmy?
They kind of switch places.
Okay.
I do too. Today's just going to be a little bit of off the cuff, a little bit of in the news, personal news. Also have some voicemails coming up. A lot of you guys have been sending us some
Nice.
text messages, some
excited for that.
voicemails.
Dude, I'm excited. Somebody messaged me on Instagram and they're like, how do I send in the dick of the week?
Oh, and
Oh, I told them, so hopefully they left a voicemail.
Hopefully it's not
Say
a
no
picture.
pictures.
They didn't say it to me.
yeah, no X-rated
rating.
pics.
Not
Not
literal.
rating.
Not literal.
Oh man, you just opened a can of worms.
You guys will
bro.
rate my dick, really?
Yeah. Worms is right.
We're not rating dicks.
Oh,
That made
no.
a sound.
Not on this channel.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, question on the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone left a comment. One of our, I can't remember her name. One of our regulars asking if they can call that phone number from another country.
Of course.
Yeah. International calling is like isn't that like a free thing now?
Well,
or is that
I
a,
just thought
Depending.
sometimes you have to put a weird area code or something.
Yeah, you'll have to do the like plus
the
one.
one.
Yeah.
For America,
yeah, one
it's-
is the country code.
Okay.
Yeah, ours is number one, baby.
That's what happens
Because
when you
isn't-
invent the telephone.
Isn't like Australia or something like that? Like 9+93 or something.
I don't. Yeah, it
sounds pretty
weird.
lame.
Yeah.
I remember when my cousin lived in Germany, it was something different too.
Yeah, so for you international peeps, if you want to, fit the little tiny bill there, I don't think it'd be very much. All you can do is send us either a text message or a voicemail. I'm not answering the phone. No matter how many times you call, it's I put it on D&D, baby. It's going straight to voicemail. So,
Voicemail is what it's there for.
Yeah.
Leave a voice message.
and I don't want to be answering the phone through all hours
I just hope
of
the
every day.
voicemail doesn't fill up. I wonder how many
Yeah,
voicemails.
but no, I think we've got
thing?
like 12 right now.
Bro, my Hotmail just filled up. like legit.
From 2020 or from 2002?
Yeah, from like forever ago. Like
Get
yesterday,
out. How
it
many
filled
emails?
up like 104,000 or
Oh
something like that.
my gosh.
And I was so irritated
it.
because I couldn't because it's my junk mail. So like when I sign up for junk websites, but maybe I go back to it and they have to send me a code, I have to go through that freaking
Yeah.
email, and it wasn't getting anything. And so yesterday I signed in on the computer for the first time in who knows how many years,
You had to blow the dust
and I
off
was
of
like,
it.
it's like red. It's like you're done. Buy more storage or delete. And I'm like, I'm not buying any storage.
Dude, can you please do me a favor? I want you to create a filter and just put in the words. I think I saw this on Instagram somewhere. All they had their friend do was put a filter to anywhere in the body of the message, any email containing the word unsubscribe. And you filter it and have it auto delete and see how many it leaves you with.
I need to try that. I think I saw that forever ago, and I wanted to try it.
They went from like 5,000 or 6,000 emails
heck
down to
yeah.
like 20.
It's insane.
my
Like
gosh.
even today, dude, email marketing is still like a huge thing.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I've never fallen victim to those ever.
That's how I
just
I had
annoying.
an email that was the same way. I'd have like 700 just sitting on there, and I'd do the same thing. Scroll, mark, permanent delete or whatever, and all of a sudden it'd go from 700 and go down to like 300.
Oh, my
and then I'd do another batch and it'd go down to like 20.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, these are actually ones I want to look at. Thank you.
Oh, Papa. Papa sent me a message 10 years ago. I miss you, Papa. Anyway. All right. Okay. Let me pull up my voicemail here. And I actually think I listened to one the other day and I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know if we can. It's hard to make out because their husband listens to the podcast. And they wanted to call in and leave a message anonymously, which you can do if you want. So Mrs. X, I'll call you Miss X this round. You just have to use some sort of voice changer if you want to leave us a voicemail and you know your significant other listens. Obviously, don't throw too many hints
get
out
caught.
there. But let's see here. I want to see if I...
I need some advice on how to break my husband of a very specific habit. He has this thing where he leaves full cups of water all around the house. On the counter, the nightstand, the coffee table, even random shelves. I swear. I could go on a scavenger hunt every night just collecting them. At this point, I feel like I live with a hydration-obsessed squirrel who's stashing water for the winter. I've tried reminding him, moving the cups to the sink, even just drinking them myself, but nothing works. So, what's your best strategy for getting a grown man to stop abandoning his water cups like they're disposable when he's very much aware we have a sink? Please help me out.
That's water storage.
You tell him to swing away.
Yes, that's where I was going. That was the first thing I thought
From
of.
side?
Yeah.
Swing away.
Aliens are coming to your town, and your husband secretly knows it.
He's preparing. He's a genius.
Yes,
I love it.
it's got placebos in it.
So it was a little tough for me to understand parts of it. So basically what I could gather is the husband leaves cups of water all throughout the house,
Yes,
but he doesn't make it into the dishwasher. Is that what I was understanding?
or he just
leaves them in
the
it
cups
everywhere.
of water
Leaves
just
the cups of
sitting
water
around.
everywhere.
Doesn't actually finish the water and leaves the cup sitting around.
Oh, okay.
Go buy a pack of diapers and put them over every cup and just leave them there.
Why? What would that do?
In case
He
they
needs
spill.
to grow up. Grown ass man, okay? Just kidding.
Wow.
What a fool!
Get
I
rid
love
of
the
all the
lead-in.
cups in the house, and then just have one with his name on it.
Yes, just one cup.
One cup.
One
There's only
singular
one.
cup.
Yeah,
That's his cup.
Everyone gets one cup. In there.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. I did
Not a
that
bad
with
idea at
plates
all.
once upon a time. I was tired of washing so many freaking plates, so I broke it down to how many people we had in the house. I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
If you don't have a plate, you gotta wash a plate. That's just how it works.
Plates would be tough.
Hey, honestly, that's
But cups,
genius.
I feel like you can reuse the same cup all day.
Yeah,
That's true.
Like
Well-
you just rinse out
you just
whatever.
have to go find the new cup
So that
or start drinking out of the faucet.
My kids do that. That since the faucet like pulls out, like how you don't have the third
There's nothing
thing
wrong with
anymore. They'll
Yeah.
grab it, pull the.
Just go get him one of those metal water bottles.
gonna say,
and
what about
"That's
a
your
water
wa-
bottle?"
That's your water.
that's a good idea.
There you go. And then put a diaper on it.
Hydro jug or something.
We used to be, well, I mean, we're still friends with them. I just haven't seen them in forever. But the Ohana fam, whatever, they were like a vlogging family of like 12 kids. I don't know how many kids.
Hana, you ugly.
They have way too many. But they, their whole thing was they had each a designated plastic cup. And I want to say they even had like a magnet on it so they could stick it to the fridge. So it didn't even take up counter space. Like they
Nice.
just had like a wall of water jugs and you just grab your jug, fill it up with water and go.
Yeah.
Wall,
was up to them
wall
to-
of PFAs.
Well, they were all metal jugs, I think.
My other thought was if it's water, it's not going to hurt anything. Every time you find one, just splash it on him.
I mean, me personally,
There you go.
Yeah,
You never know,
give him a little spray.
hey, that's not a bad idea.
right? Just a quick, hey, because there can't be that much. Like a quick splash in the face, just enough to, what the hell, babe?
Pick it up.
I told you to put it away.
See, my
And then throw a diaper at him to dry it off.
giant baby man.
I like it.
So me personally, I have one glass and it sits right at the corner near our stove, and I literally will fill it up, slam the water, set it down, and that's where it is. That's where it stays. So that's my personal solution.
Yeah.
Zach, anything else?
Got any other ideas?
Any
how to
other
help her
crazy
out?
ideas?
No.
I love the splashing idea.
I was going to say, I think
a
a
good
hydro jug would just be
Do a
a
walla.
mug. Yeah, a walla.
I always have my big old walla full of water, nice. And then I have like 2 other jugs that have other purposes,
Nice.
but they're around the house.
So
But they're closed, so they can't like spill.
I'm buying him a pack
That's
of
my
diapers.
that's my new rule.
might.
In
Might
my
have a
house
pack
is
of
like
diapers.
every cup has a lid.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I'm done with. I'm so tired of spills. Everything has a lid.
Makes me wonder, though, if it's half of the reason is because he grabs a cup, gets some water, gets up and does something, and then realizes, I'm thirsty, and it's easier just to go back to the cupboard and grab another cup and fill that
Yeah.
up than walk
Child.
all the way over.
Or
Child.
counterpoint.
Giant man child.
Counterpoint. How do we know that she's not touching them and moving them? Because once a man puts something down, if you move it, it's gone from his world. It doesn't exist
That's true.
anymore.
He could
you
walk
move it,
right
that's
back
true.
and be like, I swear there was a cup here. Oh, I'll
Right?
get a new one.
Have you ever seen? There's like I've seen a reel where this guy's like trying to make breakfast and he like gets a a bowl and a spoon out and his wife's behind him in a cupboard and then they like kind of switch. She goes to the sink. He goes to the cupboard to get the cereal. She's like, "Why the crap is this here?" Puts it in the sink. He comes back and he's like, "Okay." So he puts the cereal down. He goes back to get another bowl. She's like, "Come on," and puts the cereal away. And he's like, "What is happening?" So I'm just saying, maybe you're moving it around. He loses track of it in his orbit and has to just get a new one. You know how men can't find things? It vanishes.
I saw a same reel where has the fridge open and he's like, I don't know where the ketchup's at. You said the ketchup's right here.
There's no ketchup.
There's no ketchup. And she's like, yes, it is. And all of a sudden, like, she moves something just a little bit, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like that weird digitizing thing
Yeah.
that happens.
Yes.
It digitizes, and all of a sudden, the ketchup's right there. And he's like, well, you could have said it was right next to this.
Dude,
That's a real issue.
I know.
1000%.
my biggest issue ever, man, is Jess will buy something and I'll go to look for it, and it's all we've always bought the same brand, but then one day she changes brand, and for whatever reason, when she changes brand, she also changes the placement in the fridge. And she's like, I'm like, where's this? And she's like, it's in the fridge. I'm like, I looked in the fridge. It's not where it's supposed to be. She's like, well, did you check up here? I'm like, no, I didn't check up there.
Why
We
would I
never
check up
kept
there?
it there.
It doesn't go there.
So I 100% relate to that stupid digitizing.
That's like saying parking the car on the grass and me looking for it in the garage.
Yeah.
It's not there. Where's the car? Did you check on the lawn? Why would I check on the lawn? It goes in the garage.
Well, as funny as it is, that anonymous caller was Shaylee.
Shut up. No, I do not.
Oh my head.
That is not a thing that I do.
That is hilarious.
Man child. Okay.
She texted me and was like, hey, could I ask for some advice? I'm like, of course you can. She's like, can I do it anonymously? I'm like, yes, you
Freaking
can.
dweeb.
That's awesome. That is so
Hey,
awesome.
okay. I have my giant Awala that I use for water.
Let's
I
hear
have
this rebuttal.
I have my spinning, like my little spinny vortex cup that I use for my hydration stuff. I have another spinny vortex that I also use for that. I do. If I get a cup, I will drink it and put it next to the sink in the kitchen and in the bathroom.
So is Shaylee moving it for you? Or,
I mean, sometimes she does.
I have
I'm like,
one next to every sink.
I'm just saying it's there. It's ready. I know it's only going to be water. I have it. You can drink it. I've actually recently started just drinking straight from the faucet in the kitchen because I don't even want to deal with the cup anymore.
animal.
Dumb.
All right.
Hey, we got plenty of diapers you can
Guys,
throw
gonna
at
say,
me.
I had a little bit of fun calling you a giant man
Oh,
child.
that's funny. Gosh.
Giant man
You know
child.
she probably just started something.
Oh, it's so great.
you're going to start leaving them around everywhere. Oh, no.
No,
I'm
because
saying watch out, boys.
Oh, yeah.
our wives don't listen.
100%.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
She'll text them.
it's
Ladies,
don't
have
you
a-
give her
ladies
any
have a
ideas.
great idea. I didn't give her that idea.
I know, but now
Came up with it on her own.
It would be funny. So remember how Jess went around and asked all of them, like, what was it, like the perfect Mother's Day or
yes.
something?
And we had to guess.
We had to guess whose wife was whose or whatever. It'd be funny to have them all call in with a disguised voice giving a problem, and then we have to guess whose wife it is based off the problem. It'd be interesting.
I want to know what my problem would be. personally.
clipping his toenails in the kitchen.
Gross, dude. That makes me want to yak. Do you do that, Cam?
Oh, heck no.
Okay, good.
Judging
I don't
by
clip my
Chris's
toenails.
face, it looks like Chris does that.
That's so inconvenient to go to the kitchen to clip my toenails.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You do it in bed.
That's right.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, dude.
Oh, that's right.
I will never forget. There was one time when you lived in your not condominium,
Twin home.
duplex.
Yeah.
There was one time we were all hanging out for whatever reason up in your guys' bedroom, and I was hungry, and so Lisa got me. You guys had these like what were they? Some sort of like granola bar. That Nature's Valley. The ones that
Okay.
are notorious for
Oh, yeah.
clumming, and it got all over your bed. To no fault of mine. Those things, you cannot control those things. I'm a clean eater, and those things you cannot contain.
You could have not eaten it in the bed.
She handed it to me. We were all hanging out up there. I don't know. And he was just like, after he was like deep vacuuming it, I was like, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't realize the mess this thing was causing. I felt so bad.
That sounds like me.
I felt terrible.
Oh, man.
You're like, I
awesome.
hate laying in bed with crumbs. I was like, oh shoot.
I mean, I'll
that what it said?
confess, I clip my toenails in bed.
Ah, what?
What's wrong with that? It's in
That's
the
where you
bedroom.
lay.
You let him go in the bed?
I clean them up afterwards.
All
What
of
about
them?
those strays that go?
No.
I literally will get in the shower, not like with it
Barricade
running.
yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like before I actually shower, I'll get in there, water not running, close the door behind me, and then clip my nails, and then let the water run.
Okay, you need to see somebody.
Well, it's because I have no control where those things are going, like you just
So
said.
if you do it after the shower,
bingo.
they
I was
hydrate,
just
and
gonna
then
say.
you can just clip them nice and clean. They don't.
Yeah, but if you
break.
do it out of
They're
the
not
shower,
brittle.
now there's that area that your nail was covering that didn't get washed. No?
What's wrong
No.
with it? What about just give it a
Never had that issue.
quick
in my
little
life.
scrape. Get a Q-tip and just give it a little clean.
That's all 20 of them? That's a long time.
How do you have 20? Oh, I was like toes. I was like, how do you have
That's
20
funny.
toes?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, toes? What?
You can't clip them all at the same time. You do them in days, man. 5 a day.
Yeah.
4 days of work.
Do-
Take a break for a few.
I do. I'll say I'll do 10 at a time. My fingernails grow a lot
Okay.
faster than my toenails.
Hold on. The area that's not clean after you get it's not clean in the shower if the toenails there. What are you talking about?
No, he wants to clean it before the
Like
shower.
I like
so
to
he can
clip
get
my nails to like get them all cleaned up and nice.
Catch it on the next day.
It's true. Just get on the next day. Yeah.
I mean, what is Jenny sucking on your toes or something like that? Like,
He wishes. He's wrong. Whether she is or not, he's always ready.
You're like, I don't know. Maybe it's a new kink I'm gonna like. Who knows? You know, I'm in my 30s.
Wash your hands. I don't know. Put some socks on so you don't think about it.
I'm always in socks.
And when you're sleeping, you have socks on.
No.
Yes.
Oh, that's the only time I don't.
I hear it helps.
You'd be an
wrong with
alien.
that?
Helps what? You sweat? Yeah, I know.
Increase blood flow.
To what?
I've got plenty of
What
blood.
do you think?
Dude, I got plenty of blood flow.
I'm just saying you could have more.
wait, what's wrong with sleeping with your socks on?
Gross.
Serial killers do it.
Apparently, I'm a serial killer then.
We
said he's
already
He
do.
also cuts his nails in the bed. So
We've been making a list for quite a while now.
Yeah, bro, you better be on some FBI warning list
You sleep
somewhere.
with socks on every
The
night?
only time I do not have socks on is when I am walking to the shower, showering, and I get out of the shower.
Isn't that feel weird with socks on?
Oh.
What?
In bed? Oh, if my
That's
sock
that
twists
is the only time I do not
even a
have socks
quarter
on.
of an inch, I lose my mind.
Welcome.
yes.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. No. I don't even like wearing
want-
socks in my
My
house
socks
most of
don't
the time.
move when I sleep.
I like socks in my house.
You
I
don't
wear
move
socks
your
in my
legs?
bed.
My feet are also my temperature control when I'm in bed.
Bingo.
Yeah, like I have to. If I'm hot, foot comes out of the
Bingo.
out of the blankets. If I'm too hot, 2 feet come out.
Yep,
of the blankets.
bingo.
Monsters will
If I'm
get you.
freezing, 1, 2.
Monsters will get you.
Only if you hang
Dude.
them over the edge of the bed.
I
do.
routinely hang my foot over the edge of the bed just to demonstrate power over the
Same.
monsters.
That's
brave.
That's a Sigma move.
Right? It
boy.
is, dude. Freaking only Sigmas,
Nope.
my guys.
I swear I feel a little
It's
tickle
empowering.
on my foot
You
every
just
time.
stick it out and you're just like, yeah, I ain't scared of you, you little.
I am.
It's great.
What I'll do is I'll
Just
take
try
one
it.
leg out. I get one leg out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a side sleeper, and I put like the top leg out, leave the bottom leg under.
Yep.
I can't have a.
But sometimes you gotta stick that bottom foot out too because it's a little
Sometimes.
too hot.
I don't like stuff hanging off the
Hey,
bed. When
are
I'm
you guys all side sleepers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you side sleepers?
I actually sleep. I sleep on both sides and a little bit on my back.
Are you side sleepers?
I've been sleeping on my
sleep-
back, but
Well,
because
yeah,
of back
that
pain.
stomach, that and stomach. Sometimes my back.
Yeah.
I was a
side,
stomach
though.
sleeper when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
Dude,
I'm
I
back
have
and forth on my sides.
forever always slept on my back.
No.
See, I start
That's
on my, I
supposed to
start
be
on my
better
left,
for you.
I fall asleep, and then I
Supposed to
wake
be
up,
better for you.
and then I move to my right, and then after a little while, I wake up and I'm like,
See, my
I'm gonna lay on my
favorite's
back,
my favorite's
and
on
then I
my
go-
right. That's where I spend
That's
most of my
so
time is on
wild,
my right.
man. I literally will lay like I'm in a coffin, dude.
Do you wake up during
dude,
the night,
that'd
or
be
do you just
so
go?
great.
It's wonderful. And
we
then
should
I'll
try a
wake up,
coffin.
and most of the time I wake up and my arms are above my
You
head.
should try a coffin.
Oh my gosh,
Dude,
I
I put
lose
my
feeling
arms
in
up a
my
lot
hands.
too. I started sleeping on an incline because of that. Because my shoulder would like the way I would lay on my shoulder would like cut off
You get
circulation,
dead arm.
and I get major dead arm.
Did you ever roll over and hit yourself and freak out?
It's only I think it's
I
happened,
did that
it's happened to
once.
me. It's happened to me twice.
Me too. Twice.
Dude, I started stroking my hand one time.
Why is it
like, really?
Jenny, you need to shave.
100%. No, this was before I was even married, and so that's why, like,
Wait.
that's why, like, I kind of started to feel it, and in my dream or whatnot, like, I didn't think much of it, and then like realization hit me, and I was like, "Who's in my bed with me?" And it was like, "Ah!" and then it was my own hand, and I'm not making that up. 1,000%.
I call
had
that
a-
self-love.
I had 1,000% the same thing. I must have slept on my side because I never do that, and my arm had fallen asleep, and I remember rolling over onto my back, and my arm just fell onto my chest. Yeah. And at that time, I think that was when I was sneaking my girlfriend into my room at night, and we kind of cuddle, and so I was like, oh yeah. And then I had that same the realization that no one was in my bed with me, and whose arm is this?
Yes.
And then I panicked, and then I got up, and I couldn't even move my arm.
You're like, it's dead.
It's that scene from Horton Hears a Who where his arm's numb. Have you seen that?
And then you have a different kind of panic, and you're like, is it gonna come back to normal? Is it gonna fix itself?
That was
And then
me.
you got to
Am I-
grab your
am
hand
I
and lift
done?
it into the air.
Yeah.
And then you feel all the
Dude, it's-
blood rush down.
It's wild. I remember like I literally could not move my hand,
Yeah.
and so I had to like use my other hand. I was like, what is this? I
Yeah.
was like, this is not right.
But do you remember? I'm sure you've had that feeling where you lift your arm
Oh, yeah.
straight up and then you feel the
Yeah.
cold blood rush down into your body again. Oh,
I thought it's
creepy.
the other way around. You want it below your heart to get the blood back into your hand.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I'm asleep. I don't know. I'm tired.
I'm laying down.
Yeah.
I've wondered.
My brain's not functioning 100% of that time.
I've wondered how long my hand has gone without feeling in the middle of the night. That I'm like, how long is too long?
Hopefully,
That's attached.
hopefully
You're
way
fine.
more than 8 hours.
I got a question though.
Yeah.
Sleep on your back. Have you ever woken up with a stiff neck? Like where you're like,
No.
feels like your neck's fused together. Have you guys ever done that?
I don't think so.
Oh, just me, huh?
I mean, I feel like I've had that happen, but I don't know if it was from sleeping on my back.
Lisa must be doing something to me.
I was,
She's punching you in the neck all night.
Just strangling him.
one of my favorite comedians was saying about how as you get older, you keep changing positions because you wake up with new body aches, and so when you're young you sleep on your belly because it's the most comfortable, and then eventually that starts to hurt, so then you lay on your side, and then your shoulder starts to hurt, so then you lay on your other side, and then that one starts to hurt, and so then you finally give up and you assume the last position you'll ever make is the one on your back. And I was
So
like,
true.
well, I made that transition a long time ago.
Preparing for the worst.
Anyway. While we're at it, could you pull up any questions that we may have while I kind of go through these?
Questions from
From the
YouTube?
comments.
comments.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. This one should be good. I wonder if can I read it? Oh, she just sent in a text message. Okay. So this one says, "Hey y'all, Tabitha here from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Oshkosh bagosh.
My husband and I live near the water, and we have spiders all up in our house, our
Move.
garage, hanging from the porch, and in front of all our outside doors.
Burn the house down.
Fire.
And our car, and inside our car.
Oh, hell
and
no.
This is even with pest control.
Nope.
I would burn it all with fire, except I kind of like having a home and all. So what do I do?
Overrated.
By the way, I'm petrified of spiders.
Insurance claim. I don't know what happened. The house and the cars went up in flame. There you go.
The spiders have evolved. They've learned how to use a lighter.
They had just come and sprayed, maybe that stuff was flammable. I don't know.
You like having a house, then go to a place with no spiders. I would not like being in that house.
Place where you like houses.
Biofin.
If that was my brand new house and no, we'd move. We'd be gone. No.
You'd move? For
I
sure?
would, yes.
100%?
If it's an every year thing, yes, I would not live there. I would be gone.
You don't think you could get over it?
No.
I've gotten over it.
What kind of spiders? I'm curious.
In Wisconsin?
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah, it does.
There's some spiders I do not care about. Like, I mean that like in a nice way. Like I see it in the house, I'm like, hey, what's up? And then
I
there's
still
other ones
kill
where
it.
I'm like, you got to go. But yeah,
Literally, the other night we were filming and there was a spider that ran across the ceiling.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is like, oh, get it. And I'm like, okay. I took a mental note.
And then it vanished.
And then 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, that spider. And I looked up and I was like, it's gone. So there's a little tiny tan guy running around here somewhere. So if you feel a little tickle on your leg,
tickle.
No, you
Better
got
hope it
them all.
doesn't come anywhere near me.
this table's going to go up.
Oh, this something will be flying. Something will break.
Let's
I'll
see.
run.
Let's get creative here. How can we get rid of a bunch of spiders?
Well, mine's real. Biofenthrin. It works. It's a chemical. You mix it. It's kid safe. You put it around the perimeter and then inside along your baseboards. No spiders. I used
What's
to
it
have
called?
spiders all the time. Biofenthrin. Biofin is
You sound like Mike Tyson.
biofenthrin.
I was gonna say it slower. I'm hearing
Now, Kith.
Okay.
Biofenthrin.
Biofenthrin. All I know
That's
is
how you say it.
we're not questioning.
So wait, let me see it. Is that the stuff? I've
serious.
heard of that stuff. Yeah.
me see.
I remember looking into like some bug spray
It's
stuff.
bifenthrin.
Let me see.
Bifenthrin.
And you could buy it just on Amazon, and
yeah.
it's basically the same stuff that like
How do you keep it out of your
I
car?
wonder if that's the same stuff that my dad uses.
He probably
spray
does.
around
It
the
lasts
cars,
forever.
spray the whole driveway.
I do my yard for mosquitoes. Mosquitoes stay away.
I heard something about coffee and mosquitoes.
No, that's dumb.
Is that BS? Have you tried it?
I don't know.
This
Eh.
guy's like he takes Folgers and he sprinkles it all the way around his
Well,
house.
it probably works better than nothing, but bifen is like
Bifenthrin.
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 It's that's the stuff.
Nice.
That's
I go straight to the red nuke button. care of it.
ask chat. How do I get rid of a bunch of spiders?
Maybe you, if you like your husband, maybe this isn't for you. But if you don't like your husband, maybe you make a sacrifice. Sacrifice to the spider gods for some peace.
Just lay him out in the yard, let him tie him up and drag him away.
You ever seen arachnophobia?
You never know. I'm just saying it could be an
I
option.
hate that.
Eight-legged
movie.
freaks.
That is the one horror movie that scares the living bejesus out of me.
Eight-legged freaks.
No,
arachnophobia.
arachnophobia.
I still haven't even seen it.
It's
Ugh.
great.
Have
It
you
really
seen
is.
it?
Yes.
You hate spiders so much, and you watched arachnophobia.
Yeah, there was a few times I had to pause it to catch my breath because I was
The
Freaking
shower
sobbing.
scene, wasn't
Oh
it?
my gosh! Yeah,
The shower
The
scene.
shower scene.
Oh,
Go ahead.
man.
The popcorn scene where she picks it
Oh
up.
yeah,
and I'm
that too.
What?
Even-
Tell me. Go ahead.
Well, the
Spoil.
shower scene, one is like on her face, but she can't tell because
water?
she's
That's
showering.
the wrong scene.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
oh,
All over her face.
different shower movie. But
I'm a
yeah, it's
child.
like
Yeah.
it's like on her face or body, and and then the popcorn scene, they're like sitting watching a movie, eating popcorn, not paying attention, and it's like in the popcorn bowl.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, the
But they're those big banana spiders.
introduction to it where it crawls in the guy's tent or in the sleeping bag, and all of a sudden he just wakes up, and that's when it starts. That's the worst.
Oh, that movie's so good.
How do you feel about face huggers? Do they strike you the same?
No.
Really?
Those
They're
things-
not real.
Dude, I think face huggers terrify me more than spiders. And they're not even real. Really? Interesting.
What if?
What about scorpions? Sorry, I'm
No, you're good.
Never really encountered one, so I couldn't tell you.
really.
All right, we're going on a spirit journey, buddy.
Let's do it, man.
Scorpions are.
They're
Scorpions are
crazy.
wild.
They're cool, but they're crazy. What about a sun spider? Those things you got.
Yeah, what were those? Camel spiders?
Camel spiders,
Yeah.
sun scorpion.
I had like 2 or 3 of them.
What?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those?
No.
They look like a big ant.
They,
I mean,
Almost.
I
No,
saw
they
the
don't.
ones that like they'd post, like military people would post from Iraq.
yeah.
It's like-
So, not
Yeah,
even
no.
kidding you, Chris goes down to, where is it, St. George?
yeah.
He went down to St. George and he encountered one and he sent me a photo of it. And I'm not kidding you. He must have sent me some aura because all of a sudden, like 2-3 days later, I'm out in the garage and out comes this giant camel spider.
Oh, mother of
And
hell,
it,
no.
and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh crap. And I'm thinking, oh, I'll just kind of like kill it, right? So I start to approach it. And instead of that guy running away, he charges me.
No.
He comes running at me.
Oh, I'd be screaming.
And I'm like, and inside I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? And I just stop it. And I'm like, but I was scared because I was like, what if it jumps? Like, I didn't know. It was one of those like prancy dance kind of jumps, like, oh, please, dear God. And luckily I killed it.
Yeah. What if you missed?
But
It goes up your pant leg.
I'm always afraid of it. Like you step on it and it grabs your shoe and you look
Oh,
up and you're like,
no!
where'd it go? And it's like, right here, B.
so, but it
that
must have
mother-
had,
Times it just right hops on top of your foot.
You're like, I was playing Mario or something.
it's a me. That's what I was
Comes up
afraid
with a
of.
little red hat and a mustache.
Not even a few days later, the exact same spot, another camel spider.
That was its
Same size.
son
Coming forward.
seeking vengeance.
Yeah,
Revenge.
same one.
You
or
killed my
same
mate.
size. And again, it comes running at me, but this time I was prepared, and I just stomped the mother.
I couldn't even do that. No.
And I'm not lying. This happened a third time, same spot. I don't know if there was something in that area.
You found the colony.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
I
But
thought you
3 of
texted
them.
me and you said, "What is this?"
Yes.
And then I was like, "Dude, it's a camel spider." And then I sent you the video, right? Is
Yeah,
that-
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you're like,
yeah.
dude, what is this? I was like, oh, it's a camel spider. You're like, it's dead.
I'm like, I could. Oh, dude, it was so big. It was so big. Anyway, back to the spiders.
Next topic.
Well, I was gonna say, is it possible to find out what they like are attracted to, and maybe try and like,
Navigate them away.
yeah,
Lure them away from the home.
like I think of like a bug zapper kind of idea that, but like off the property, and so maybe they're attracted to something.
Could
Obviously,
you find
not
their
a zapper, but-
nest? Wouldn't they have like a nest or something? Fireball
They're
it?
usually lone.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that thing. Here, there's one with his jaws
Oh,
out.
gross.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was
'em.
terrifying. That's a camel spider.
Oh, good Lord. No.
yeah, dude.
So,
Doesn't
I had
look like
3
a
of those.
camel
So
at all.
their mouth goes
That is no.
horizontally and perpendicular.
I had
so it's
3
got
of those
4
bad
jaws.
boys come at me.
Yeah.
Dude, they were,
fat.
I
and it was huge.
don't like it.
I had to pet one of those.
Why?
They got it off base. I don't know. The guy gave it to
I
me and
remember
I didn't
that.
want it to die. You remember that?
Yeah, we threw a moth in the cage with it, and it grabbed that moth right out of the air
Yeah.
and started eating it.
He's a hungry
It
boy.
held it and was like taking chunks while it was holding it in its mouth. It was like, you just watched it disappear. It just disappeared.
Gross.
They're cool, but they're kind of creepy looking. What about a Jerusalem cricket? Have you ever seen one of those?
No,
Yes. Those
What
are weird.
if, aren't they just giant black crickets?
No.
Nope.
have you ever seen a sand puppy?
I think I
yes.
We used to get those in our garden growing
That's
up.
probably
What
the
if,
same
what if
thing.
you just invested in a bunch of crows? A murder of crows.
How do you keep them around?
You give them trinkets.
You give them trinkets. That's true.
You give them
Yeah.
gold trinkets.
And then they bring you presents back.
Yeah, man.
A bunch of
I
dead
think
spiders.
I think you become
Yes.
the queen of the birds,
cricket.
the queen of the crows, man.
Those things bite hard. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, they're.
I had one of those in my garage too. I took a picture of it.
Yeah, those things are gnarly. We had those growing up. Blah.
Yuck.
We legit get the wildest bugs up here. It's so crazy.
Like June bugs.
Yeah,
Dude,
everything.
June bugs,
bugs
I
are
hate
cool.
Freaking June
I love
bugs.
June
They
bugs.
terrified me as a kid. Grab onto you and then hiss at you.
A little furry chest.
Dude, they're like stripes. Oh, they're scary.
So how's that? Do crows eat? Crows eat. They have to eat bugs, right?
I think that like
A lot of birds do.
What about
Peregrine.
chickens? Chickens eat all the bugs.
Yeah, chickens
Oh,
do. That's
chicken.
it. Chickens.
Get loads of chickens. Get an
boatload
army of chickens.
plus eggs are so expensive. It's a win-win.
That's
Yeah.
why I want a mongoose so bad, is just to keep snakes away.
Mongoose.
You got a
Mongoose
snake
are
problem?
No, once upon a time I did. Freaked out. Had threw mothballs in every hole I find.
That keeps snakes away.
Apparently, but it
Yeah.
also keeps other people away because it stinks.
Yeah, dude.
I just relocate
you-
them to my back 40.
Don't you throw those?
I
in the-
relocate them to hell.
You chop their heads off?
Heck yeah, if I can.
Why?
I cut off their head with a shotgun.
I think snakes are
I
awesome.
use a blessed blade covered in holy water.
Oh, yeah, you hate snakes.
From the tears of an angel.
Yep.
I think
I have a holy hand grenade.
3, sir. 3.
Yep, we solved your chicken problem.
Yeah,
or we didn't. I don't know.
I think you,
Sounds
got you might have a chicken problem now.
Yeah, you gotta get the chickens. I mean, I hope you like eggs.
But hey, you,
Get
you know-
chickens for the spiders and then owls for the chickens.
Well, I'm finally starting.
Oh,
to
there
get
you
a
go.
bunch of eggs.
Yeah.
Because owls are cool. You just
Next thing you know, she's got a coyote problem.
We just keep creating a new species just shows up.
until somehow, some way, it ends up full circle that spiders are the resolution.
The circle of life.
Oh, that's funny.
I think you just sacrifice your husband. See if they'll just take that as
I
payment.
think you learn their language, sleep with their women, and become one.
You breed them out.
Yes.
All right, we got this comment or voice or text. Golly. I live in Idaho Falls. I just listened to your newest podcast. You are my favorite. Thank you.
Hey.
No name on this one, though, but you'll know who you are. Tony said his wife got called into jury duty. My husband is also on a jury case that is 4 weeks long. The thing is, his work isn't losing any people because I used to work there and now I am doing all of his shifts while he is in court. But I am still taking care of the kids and going to and from school. Love you guys.
Dang.
Well,
Wow.
you are a superhuman.
Trooper.
Oh my gosh. 4 weeks. I hope it gets resolved soon because that does not sound
Guilty.
fun for anyone. Do they have the death penalty in Idaho?
Yeah, exactly.
Death by potato.
A potato launcher.
Bro. Those are powerful.
We used to have
Take one of those to the chest.
a mutual friend.
It would
We used to have a
destroy
potato
your
launcher fight.
chest.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
When we go camping. Ooh, it's terrible.
I mean, we never did.
With Carlton?
I don't think I ever had a potato. I never shot it at anyone. We always shot it in the fields.
Oh, heck no. I
yeah,
shot it
we
at
were
a-
up on a hill and he was boom. You hear boom. I was in here.
Get out. You guys are launching
Okay, that makes
potatoes
sense.
at
I mean,
each
at
other?
least to our kid, that's
I was
pretty
the
smart.
bait.
Oh my God. That's how people die.
Dude, my cannon,
Nah, dog. I'm fast.
potato cannon I made, like, I don't even know how far it went, but the potatoes disappeared.
Yeah.
Did you, oh,
Vanished.
I sent it to you. Did you see the one where the guy 3D prints his projectile missiles for his potato
Yes.
cannon?
Yes.
So rad.
Yes.
So
I
he has
want
a
to.
potato cannon and he 3D prints basically a Nerf,
It's like a whistling bomb.
whistling bomb that fits perfectly into his potato cannon and he fits a harmonica in it. Oh, that's and so then when he launches it, it makes a whistling noise and his dog goes after it. But he made it so it glows in the dark too, so the dog can see it even at night. And it
that's
looks
cool.
awesome.
And you just launch it straight up, and then and you just hear it coming at you.
It's cool.
Sounds like Toothless.
I think we
it's
do that.
rad.
We got to do it, man.
Easy.
That'd be so fun.
Easy.
I forgot I have a cannon in my garage. You guys
Let's
want
do
to
it.
go fire a cannon?
Dude, I would love to.
A
Like an
real
actual cannon.
An actual cannon.
Yes.
Please?
Heck yeah.
Can we fill it with silverware?
My dad. Would I?
Stop blowing holes in my ship.
Stop blowing holes in my ship. Yes, that's
Okay,
hilarious.
let's-
Here's a good
see.
comment.
Okay.
This
Okay.
one's just on our last video. Why didn't we go on missions? So it says,
unworthy.
loves the episode. This is from Elaine Sarkar, 6265. Loved the episode. As for cartoon matches, how about these? Austin, definitely Shaggy Rogers. The hair reminds me of him.
Just wait. One more week, baby.
Cam with his playful energy. How about Kronk, Emperor's New Groove?
Weird.
Lovable, big-hearted guy with comic
is.
charm. I like that.
Let's get jacked, my guy.
Tony Flynn Rider / Eugene, ruggedly handsome on the outside, quote from the movie, and soft and mushy on the inside.
Who's Eugene?
It's
Flynn Rider.
That's what he calls himself.
Oh,
Eugene's his real name.
Yeah, Rapunzel's boyfriend.
okay.
yeah.
I know
King
Flynn
Fergus from Brave for Zach. Married his father, kind, understanding, and a red beard.
Don't know how I feel about that one.
Probably just because of the red beard.
Yeah.
It's a peg leg.
She said
Definitely.
kind, understanding.
No,
Yeah.
he's not kind or understanding.
the hell I'm not.
Have you ever watched us try to get a point across to him?
He's also trying to kill his wife.
Oh gosh, Chris
Just kidding.
is Kristoff from Frozen.
Is it just because
Fits
of
the
the
bill.
name?
Rugged, practical, and nature lover.
Christoph.
Also, when are you guys going to do another I'm Not Saying, I'm Just Saying episode? Love those.
I'm not saying.
That'd
Thank
be
you.
a good one.
I love those too.
I don't even remember what those are.
Just conspiracies.
Conspiracies.
Oh,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
We could do one of those tonight.
You want?
Bro, we know
So
the
I know
CIA did it.
I know I said 1 week for the hair getting cut, but for you guys it'll be 2 weeks. But anyway, tune in to Men Try. Coming in hot. We're gonna get this bad boy permed. I'm excited. It's gonna be silly.
Gay. This lady said, Andrea Elliott 728. My mom set the whole car to laughing when she got pissed at another driver and said, "I hope you run out of gas."
That's true.
Kind road
Hey,
rage.
that's
right
a
there.
good one.
Kind road
Perfect.
rage. That's much better than what we were saying.
Man, I've always wanted to fashion like a little tiny nail gun to the bottom of my car that I could remote control from inside the cabin. So if anyone like was a jerk, I could just shoot their tire and they wouldn't find out until like miles down the road.
Dick.
Or even days later.
Yeah.
It's a slow leak.
Yeah.
Slow burn.
You got to make sure you hit the sidewall though. So then
Yep. Right within
Then I have
that
to get
range.
all new ones.
Yep.
Because most things are all-wheel drive now. It's terrible.
Oh,
sorry,
so
I'm that
dumb.
kind of guy. I'm evil. Oh man. Okay.
We're getting an
Let's,
anonymous caller. My husband is evil.
Capri 91 says, looks like Tony came straight to Austin's house from work. Looking snazzy.
Oh. That was when I was in my tie.
So we do have a number of other voicemails, but I do want to say I appreciate the love. We'll listen to them off the line. A lot of them are just love and stuff like that to us and what we are doing here on the podcast. Thank you, as always. We really appreciate it. What we are really, truly looking for in the voicemails is unique questions, or if you have a unique problem, like the spider incident, stuff like that. If you guys have a unique problem that you guys want our professional idiot advice on, let us know. Give us a call on that phone number. It's 801-997-0213. Gosh, I had to remember it again. 801-997-0213. I will do my best to leave it always in the description below.
Throw a 1 in front of the 801 if you're not in the U.S.
Yeah, international. +1. 801. Anyway, next segment, let's jump into some in the news. What do we got going on in the news?
In the news!
In the news, personal, local, global, let's go.
I'll start us off.
Okay.
Reggie had his surgery.
And?
Went great. He was in and out in an hour. And
That's longer than you.
by about 55 minutes. Yeah.
Longer than it took to make it.
Don't kid yourself. It's like 58 minutes.
And a half.
Way to go, Reggie!
No, funny thing though, kind of.
Pace myself.
So
I gotta pace myself.
I don't know where the rumor got spread. I'm blaming it on my big kids for spreading the rumor to the little kids. But when he came home, Kelsey wanted to see his scar from the surgery, and so we were showing him, and it's down like just below the belt line, kind of off to the side a little bit. And she's looking at it, and she goes, "So that's where his wiener was?" She legitimately thought he was getting his wiener chopped off.
Oh my gosh.
We're like, "No, he still has his wiener. Like they just fixed it."
This is a transition surgery.
Right?
Look at you.
Reggie's
This is
going
your
to
new
Regina.
sister, Regina.
Gonna be a future episode of Botched.
That's, I'm assuming all healthy.
Yeah.
Happy,
Oh, dude.
running around.
So they said they're like, yeah, for the next few days, he's probably going to be sore. Just let him relax. They just said ibuprofen, Tylenol, alternating. By that night, the kid was outside running, going crazy. I'm like, you're
ridiculous.
a madman. Like, he just wasn't even fixed.
Don't let him pop a stitch.
Well, so they were internal stitches.
Right.
And then just glue on the outside. The main thing they said is don't let him, like, straddle anything, like anything that's going to put. So don't, like, bounce on a ball or a horse or anything that's going to put, like, direct pressure right
Put
there.
sod in your backyard.
Right.
No child labor this week.
No, that's what I did. So I had pretty much, they come in to the left side and they go down because I had a varicocele.
Oh, yeah.
I popped it out.
Did you?
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
was that when you did your sod?
Yeah.
When you wouldn't wait for us?
Yeah.
You prude?
Yeah.
Golly.
No patience.
This guy, no patience at all. He asks us for help on laying sod. And I text him the day of that they're laying sod. I'm like, hey, man, when do you want us there? And he's like, oh, it's done.
Yeah. What? I did the same thing.
But didn't you feel good? You're like, oh, I don't even have to go over there. It's cool.
I felt terrible because you've always helped me with stuff. I was looking to reciprocate.
Yeah, how are we supposed to repay karma if you don't let us?
I did it for you.
Paid it for
He's hogging it all to himself. Karma's on mine.
My karma.
Oh, goodness.
Let's see. Global. What?
I mean, they dropped the JFK files.
Oh, yes. Anything, like any big
So
parts come out of that?
So the revelation that I keep seeing is that the group that ended up doing it was kind of like a group of CIA agents or like basically government agents that were gun running and drugs and doing other stuff like, on the down low. And JFK
Dirty.
had started to catch wind of it and was going to blow the whistle. And so they organized the shooting of him. The guy, Lee Harvey Oswald, supposedly wasn't even in the building that they claimed he shot from. It was like a mob boss. And then there was the guy on the grassy knoll. And so the first guy was going to take 3 shots. And once he hit 3 shots, if he didn't kill him, then the other guy in the knoll was going to take some shots. So he shot once, shot twice, hit him in the shoulder, shot again and missed. So he missed twice. And then the guy on the grassy knoll is the one that shot him in the head. So
that's always been a theory,
Yes.
right?
The grassy knoll.
And
Yeah.
so now it's proven.
Supposedly, again, I haven't read the documents
Science.
myself, but these are people who are reading them and like summarizing them
It's
kind of.
science.
Yeah. Yeah, because when we did the JFK episode, we talked about that, how like the way the damage was done to his head, that it just didn't line up.
They
Yeah.
made up the magic bullet theory, right?
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
and-
Didn't it like go in and supposedly ricochet
It
a bunch of times?
ricocheted and hit a different spot and like all
And then
kinds of
on the
weird stuff.
gurney he was laying on, they found a bullet perfectly intact, a
Yeah.
slug, and they're like, that's not the way that works.
Yeah. Not
Yeah. Weird.
The now something I saw, and it was just from one creator, so this could be completely. But he actually, I mean, he threw on the screen part of the JFK files and part that has always been redacted, which is a big point of intrigue, is that there seemed to be some sort of tie with the murder of RFK or JFK to Israel. Did you see that? Mm-mm. So there's like the part that's always been redacted. There's something tying it to people in Israel,
Haven't
which is
seen
always
that.
kind of crazy.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe they were part of the gun running.
Free Palestine.
Oh gosh.
I don't know, man. It's
just
crazy stuff.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I don't know either.
See if you can pull something up on that, Jamie. Another thing too was Trump officially got rid of the Department of Education, which I know you wanted to touch on.
Well, I was just going to
Touch
say,
it.
I will. No, I was just reading some comments, and I know people are like really upset about it, like the fact that now our kids aren't going to have an education, blah blah blah. But what I don't understand is all Trump is doing is he's throwing it down to the states.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to get mad and say that the kids aren't going to have an education, now you need to go to your local leaders and say, what are you guys going to do?
Which is where the power is supposed to be anyway.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Federal government's gotten too bloated.
Yeah. Well, and I even I
Wouldn't you want your state in charge of that anyway?
that's what I would think too. And
Locally?
I didn't get a chance to
That's the way
even
it's
look
supposed
up
to be.
or source it or cite it or anything, but someone had said that there has actually been evidence that showed that ever since they switched over to the government, that
Federal regulations.
the
IQ.
what's it called? The IQ, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I
learning
mean, we're
grade.
results of it apparently.
I know.
You know, the words. And
Yeah, the words, everything.
Dumb people we are.
The learning grades has gone down, and like even I can attest to it, and I'm sure you can too. Is the math? Everything they've done there, the core, like that is
stupid.
horrible, stupid. And like when Katie was, I think what was it, like 7th grade, something like that. She asked me for help with her math, and I showed her a way to do it without doing it the core way.
Showed them the easy
And
way.
I showed her how to do it, and she did everything, and she got a 0 on it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
fought the
And
teacher.
and
on
I
that.
went to the teacher. Well, we did. We went to the teacher, and we're like, "What the heck?" And she goes, "Yeah, all the answers are right, but she didn't do it the way she's supposed to." I was like, "No.
Stupid.
I was like, "This is the way we did it." She still came around to the same thing, but this was easier. She understood it. The answers are right. She should get 100%. Nope, that's not the way they need to do it. They need to do it this way.
So
Well,
It
so
shouldn't
you're telling
matter.
me-
You need to work on your negotiation skills.
So you're
know.
telling me in the real world that math has to follow a certain style?
Yes.
That's
Or just
Wait,
probably.
wait, you're
Probably
telling me
that's all I
that
said.
the correct answer or result doesn't
Well,
matter?
they said he didn't show my son. They's like, he didn't show his work. I was like, yeah, his work's right here. Well, not the way we told him to show his work. I was like, it says show your work. I said, this is the way him showing his work. I said, pass him. So now they teach regular and common core in that class.
Oh, see?
Well, it's like,
Man.
I'm not.
That's so
I was like, I'm
dumb.
not leaving here until we come to a resolution on this, and it's not going to be a 0 answer.
Yeah.
I said, don't you want parents engaging with their kids and helping them with their schoolwork?
no.
No, but they always say that. They're like, hey, take it at home, you teach them, you help them. You know what I mean? They always push that, so you just throw them in a corner to where they're like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's doing good.
But well, and that's where I think ultimately it comes down to. I've seen a lot of people upset that they think now that the education system's just going to fail and everything's going to go to crap.
No.
And it's like, okay, well, if that's the case, then you need to start going to your local government
Right.
and asking them what they're going to do.
It's a lot easier
also,
to
like-
hold local government accountable
Yeah.
than it is
Oh, yeah.
federal bureaucracy.
Well, because I also feel like it's a lot of people said it's the other way. Like it is causing the issues.
I could see it. Well,
I mean,
Well, because it was never. I feel like people don't understand what it's for. Like I even don't fully understand what they actually do.
the
Department of Education?
things.
Because I think originally they weren't put in to choose curriculum and tell everybody what to like
There's
teach.
just funding for areas that need
They're-
more funding.
Yeah, they essentially are in charge of like budgeting and identifying trends and things in education that need to be fixed or whatever. Like
Not sitting.
here we have the Guardian. I mean, it's England, but whatever, right? Isn't the Guardian from England?
I don't
know.
think so.
The card.
No, it is the U.S. Okay. But basically, they say they're defining what is the Department of Education. It's a cabinet level agency created by Jimmy Carter in 1979.
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
with his brother Timmy and
Bimmy.
Peter.
Nobody remembers Bimmy.
To oversee national education policy and administer federal assistant programs for
Right.
schools across country. So federal assistance, that's not talking about what my kids are learning. That's just
What they have
giving
to
them
learn.
money to go somewhere else.
So I had a really good conversation with a friend who is on the other side of things from my perspective.
Yeah.
And we actually had a really good conversation.
Yeah, I like
which
those.
I absolutely loved because I was, because her big concern is that her child, like they live in an area that may not be as prosperous as others.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
get that.
so her concern was because of the taxes in the area in which they reside, their school is not going to get as much funding as some other cities that have, more taxes to then be able to put into the education system as far as food and everything else goes as well.
Isn't it the opposite, though? Doesn't normally the ones that are less prosperous actually get more funding and more money?
From federal, yes. That's the
federal.
point. That's
Oh,
the point.
okay.
That's the point. So then eliminating the Department of Education gets rid of that.
Okay.
And so then it becomes locally funded, which is a concern.
Okay.
However, and this was the point that I was kind of making was right now with the current departments and everything and what they're trying to do is they're trying to eliminate ways of waste and bureaucracy. So they're trying to eliminate all these weird funds that don't really help anyone or anything. And I believe the end all goal is for some of the money that we have saved from not, putting into these departments that are then lost in bureaucracy is that they then in turn turn around and fund other things like state-run programs, education, food for children, stuff like that. And it also, I was reading an article on it, and when it becomes locally governed, like what we're looking to do now, is then schools can then get in touch with local farmers and then do a direct to consumer or like purchase type stuff.
Yeah.
So it's more locally grown, resourced food, stuff like that.
And yeah, it's the red tape. Like they create so many dumb policies where it's like, oh, you can't buy the food from this person because it's cheaper than it should be, or I don't know. They just have dumb things in the way that I think cause problems and cost more money and make things take longer. And it just makes more sense to me that a locally like driven board of education or whatever makes more sense because they know what's going on right here.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the entire country. They're like, how do we take care of this
more
city?
intimate.
How do we take care of this district?
Yeah.
And that was my thought process. Like I didn't look too much into it, so I'm glad like you mentioned that. Like I know there's opposing sides, and I'm intrigued to see what the opposing sides were. But in my head, I thought, well, if you have a local government, they know more what locally needs. Washington, D.C., they don't know what we need here in Utah. And they're going to claim that they do, but they don't really.
Not just that, too, but you've got local, right? And then you've got state, which is local.
Yeah.
So you got your
Keeps
county.
breaking down.
So the state has had a surplus of funding for the last 2-3 years, right?
Yeah.
Utah?
Yes, like billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing really well.
So the state can also assess what the different, counties are doing and school districts, and they can help out too, instead of us having to go to somebody who has no idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like
Or
it.
having to go to the
there's
government.
avenues. You can't just, it's multifaceted, right? In all of it. So
And I'm sure, like with everything, there's going to probably be some hiccups, and there's going to be some things that need to be learned and figured out. But
there's gonna be some growing pains and discomfort, but I believe what's going on right now with Doge and all that stuff is great. Like it's gonna cause issues at first, but you can't plant a garden until you rip up the weeds, which rip up some of the flowers too, and then you go back in and put them back.
It's funny you mentioned that because I've got a buddy who works for local IRS, and he's been really extremely worried about possibly losing his job.
bunch of people.
Everything that's going on. And like he's reached out to me a couple of times, and because he knows that I voted Trump, and he's like,
Why'd you do this to
well,
me?
that was his question. He goes, I just want to know, like, what was your reasoning? Like, what were you thinking? And I told him flat out, it was kind of that same thing. I said, here's the thing, man. I said, I believe there is an end-all, be-all to what Doge and Trump and everything is doing as far as government assets. I said, the hard thing is, and I don't think Trump understands it, maybe he does, is it's hurting the smaller people at first. And unfortunately, that's where it is. And I said, I'm really sorry that's happening to you. Like, it really sucks. And I said, but I don't think that was meant to be a thing. I think it was meant to more find these bigger guys making like $500,000 a year and just sitting at their office and pointing at a screen going, oh, we need to change this. We need to change this. Hey, you go change that.
It's more so the people that are
And-
passing these contracts going, I need my
Oh, yeah.
pillow fluffed, and then pocketing
Yeah,
Exactly.
$1.8
And
million.
And that's what I told them. And I said, it's that point where they're like, oh, we're seeing this person who makes this much. And then that person's going, oh, well, I can't lose my job. So I'm going to start picking here. You told me I need to clear $500,000. Well, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I said, and that's what I told him. I said, I think it's just, there's some misfortunate things. And I said, and unfortunately, people like you who are working hard for a daily are in the crosshairs of it. And I said, do I think that's fair? Absolutely not.
It's going to sort out, though.
But
Yeah.
and that's what I told him. I said, I think the end of it
It's
is
scary,
The
but-
end all be all. I think it's going to be a lot better. I may be completely wrong at the end of it, but
I think so.
This sounds cliche, but just tell him, be like, hey, I know you're putting a lot of energy into worrying, but put your energy into being irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, and that's
You know what I mean?
I did tell him that because we've talked a lot about his position and what he does and stuff like that. And I flat out told him, I said, dude, from everything that you've shown me and how you talk, like you're like top tier in your position. Like I was like, if anything, I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Right.
Well, in
So-
Be undeniable.
government work has always had a reputation of being cushy. Like
Oh,
you
100%.
get some fantastic benefits. Like just the other day, I was talking to my mom, and I mentioned paying for healthcare, and she's like, "You have to pay for healthcare?" I was like, "Yes, I have to pay for healthcare. Everyone pays for healthcare." And she's like, "Oh, We've just, my dad's been in the military and then he was a civil servant for so long. They've never paid for healthcare. It's always been paid for by the government.
Your mom?
Yeah.
And dad?
Yeah. Because my dad was military and then he was civil servant until he retired. So it's paid for by the government. And I was like, that's dumb. I was so bugged. I was like, what the heck, Mom?
See,
I'm
confused because I watched a video the other day where it was a really sad video. It was a guy on the side of the road who got pulled over, and it was some veteran, a young guy, and
I've seen
he was gonna go take care of himself, and he was just crying.
Not take care of himself.
Well, the opposite.
Yeah.
They get it.
And the cop was like, "Hey man, it's okay. I'm here for you." He's like, "Do we need to call the ambulance?" And one of the first sentences out of his mouth was, "Don't call the ambulance. I can't afford it."
Yep.
And this is coming from a veteran.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Well, come on out, come on, man." He's like, "You don't got any weapons on you, right?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "I just need a hug." And like
I've seen it.
Oh man, it broke me
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Kills
and
me.
it's moments like that where it makes me so excited to see where America is heading, because for the first time in a very long time, it feels like we're finally putting America first. We're putting our kids first, our veterans first, and I'm personally very excited to see where it goes.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and I have people who work for government, and they get in trouble if they go too fast with their tasks because
Yeah.
they say
That was
you're
me.
making the department
Yeah.
look bad.
That was me.
Yeah,
It's
so
insane.
I've got other people, I'm not going to name names, and they were worried about it. I was like, why? I was like, you do your job. Like,
Yeah.
because he's like, I'm actually kind of excited because he goes, there's a lot of people that don't need to be here that are just hanging off everybody's coattails.
And that's the thing is you
But
have,
how do you find those people though? That's the thing.
that's what I'm saying is you got to wipe it clean.
I know. And so they're taking a sledgehammer to a problem that sometimes needs a scalpel, is in my opinion.
I don't think
So-
they have gotten down to where they can use the scalpel yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like there's too much on the outside. They got to break through it and then
Yeah.
they can use scalpel it.
Yeah.
So I see both sides.
Yeah, totally, 100%. When I worked on base, I would, they'd ask me to set up computers, do all this stuff, and I'd burn through it all in like a week. And they'd be like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing my job."
Why
They're
are you
like,
performing?
"Dude, you're working way too fast. You need to like slow it down." I'm like, "Well, then what do you want me to do?" They're like, "I don't know. Find something to do." I'm like, "I am finding something to do."
Yeah.
They're like,
job.
"But not this,
Yeah.
because you're making the
You
rest of
just
us
did a
look bad."
month's worth of work in a week.
Dude,
I'm
and
like, okay.
I hear stories like that
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so again, like we feel for the people who are scared. I get it. Like I've even talked to some people and they're like, it's ridiculous that he's asking us to say what we did. I'm like, bro, have you ever worked in the private sector?
Yeah.
They ask you what you do weekly
Yeah.
to keep your
Daily.
job.
My boss is a dickhead. He's daily.
Yeah.
He has a daily briefing.
I'm like, that is such a normal thing in like everywhere else except
man.
the government.
Weekly meetings, man. I hated them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. I hated them.
So I had somebody complain
Oh.
about that. He's like, "Why? It just doesn't make sense." I was like, "How long is it going to take you to do that?" Like 5 minutes. I was like, "Then just do the damn thing."
Yeah.
just do
All
it.
right. Choose ChatGPT. Come on.
That's how.
Hey, this is what I am. This is how things I do. Make it
It's
sound
funny.
good.
That's how my buddy was when he had to do it. He was like, "It pisses me off. Like I feel like this is stupid and I shouldn't have to do it." He goes, "But I guess everybody was complaining to his manager about it, and the manager was like, what do you want me to do? Like we have to do it. So either you can just do it or you can complain and still do it."
Yeah.
And that's how he was. He was like, "I don't agree with it. I think it's stupid." He goes, "But it took me 5 minutes. I even think he did the same thing. He plugged it in the chat."
Yeah.
Once you throw it in there once, you just go, I need another.
I need another. Yeah. and-
Another.
And he was like, "And if that's what keeps my job, great. Every Monday morning, I will send this email off."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. He's like, "If
Auto
it is what it
schedule it.
is." Yeah.
How to schedule it.
If it
There's ways.
if it's any consolation to those, if you are listening and you are one of those that is scared about losing your job, one thing that I've been thinking about too is, yes, they are looking to eliminate a bunch of government positions, but the goal that Trump is also aiming for is bringing a lot of jobs back into the U.S.
Right.
Prime example, I think it was a transistor company out in Taiwan. Just
We need that.
put in $100 billion to build a factory that will also create over 20,000 jobs in Arizona. I believe it's Arizona. So it's stuff like that. Manufacturing plants are all moving back to the United States. It's going to create more jobs here, and I believe that that's kind of where Trump is heading. Is he wants to eliminate the waste and build a more prosperous nation for everyone.
And it's good for our security. Do you know what won us World War II? We build our way into winning that.
Yeah.
We built it. We just kept building and building and building and building.
Well, and one of the biggest,
Manufacturing.
And we kept on having sex.
babies booming.
all
And
the
one
booms.
one of the biggest hinge points for a possible World War III is Taiwan,
Yes.
because they control like over 90% of the world's semiconductor production.
And Canada.
And I
just
even
kidding.
saw that Apple just reinvested a bunch of money in the United States as well.
Yep.
Yeah, they scared.
I'm just saying, man. The proof's in the pudding.
It is.
Jobs are coming here. Illegals are leaving. You know, I don't know.
Like hate him as much as you want, but his actions are showing that he cares about his country, which he is in charge of.
Yeah.
He's not in charge of the world. He's in charge of this country and making its citizens.
Well, I mean,
Profitable and
humanitarian
safe.
reasons too. A lot of China gets a lot of their cobalt out of the Congo, which is pretty much slavery
Yeah,
there.
it is.
Oh,
Slavery.
1,000%. And
There's
everything
moms
needs it.
with babies working, and like there's videos of it, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's propaganda." No, you can look up videos of
Yeah.
it. It's crazy.
And it's a super dangerous compound to be breathing in,
Oh yeah, it's toxic.
Oh, man. I just had a question. I forgot it.
but it's in everything.
Everything.
No, that's funny you mention that too, because I've always been the type, and I've always told people when they get political or ask you, why are you doing this, or Trump's doing this and this, and I flat out told them before, like
Peer pressure.
yes, exactly, from my 4 friends over here. Yeah.
I
No,
didn't push anything on anybody.
my biggest thing
man.
is
I was RFK all day.
I was, yeah.
He's a libertarian.
And we still got him.
We still got him.
we
I
still
mean,
got him. No, when it comes down to it, like the one thing that I did not like about Biden was every time you turned
He
around.
wasn't running. He wasn't running anymore.
Let him finish his thought.
No, the one thing I didn't like
brain.
is the fact that every time you turn around, he was giving away umpteen millions of dollars.
Billions.
Thank you, billions.
Billions with a B.
To other places that weren't the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. We want to try to be the helpful. We want to be humanitarians. We want to help where we can. But at the same time, you need to secure your country first, and then we try to help.
Yeah.
And when you're turning around and funding, for instance, Ukraine, how many times do we turn around and give them billions of dollars?
Too many.
And then we have fires and flooding here, and we go, I'll give you $700. There you go.
Dude,
600.
Yeah, like it just, that's the biggest thing that frustrates me is I don't, we had our priorities elsewhere, and I feel like Trump, love him, hate him, like you said earlier, I feel like his priorities are on the U.S., and then he'll worry about people on the outside after that.
Well, it's like somebody made an analogy. It's like the oxygen on an airplane.
yeah.
When the oxygen drops, what do?
You have
You
to
put it on
yours
yourself
on
first, and then you put it on other people.
Yeah.
Same with the U.S. You make it strong again first, then we're in a position of strength that deters countries like Russia from invading countries like Ukraine in the first place.
Yeah.
We don't even have to deal with a war because they're too afraid to start one.
I like that. My stick's big.
Yeah.
Bigger than yours.
I like big shticks.
The shtick.
Anyway.
Shticks.
All right, let's move on. I
Let's get off of
I know
this.
that that's we could probably talk on that all day.
I don't mind.
I mean, I do think it's good, and I
It will be
appreciate-
good.
I also like the type of people that are freaking out about it just reaffirmed to me that it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
all the people you see in government that
Oh,
are in positions of
okay.
making too much money
Okay, yeah.
because they have a salary and it's not millions.
I was gonna
but
say
they've
locally-
grown by millions in their time.
Millions of
Millions of dollars.
Yeah. Nancy Pelosi.
Gulf of America.
Bro, we need to see what's going on there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah. Anyway.
Another in the news type thing.
Yeah.
This isn't recent. It's recent for me. And I'm actually very sad that it took me so long to find out because it's something I've followed for years. Have you guys ever heard of the Delphi murders?
Delphi.
Delphi murders.
Yeah.
Sounds
Or
familiar.
as other people would call it, down the hill,
Maybe not.
stuff like that. So back in 2017, Delphi, Indiana, horrible. Two girls, teenagers, like 12, 13 years old. I can't remember their exact age. Anyways, they were found brutally murdered in the woods. The only piece of footage they had was from one of the girls. She actually took out her cell phone that from what they could see of it, there was some guy following them. There was this bridge that would go over this area that a lot of people would go to and stuff. And she actually took a photo. She pulled out her phone and actually recorded and got a real quick thing of him on the thing. And then you hear him come up and you hear him say down the hill. And that's where they got the thing from, down the hill. And then after that, it kind of stops. And they found her phone, all this stuff, put this stuff out there. Anyways, this is what makes me mad because I followed it like so many times and listened to every podcast on it. And it's like went unsolved for years. But back in 2022, they actually found the person.
Oh, nice.
So he's now been charged and I believe gone to court and everything like that.
Did he admit?
I don't think he's fully admitted. But anyway, yeah, it basically,
Pest, I guess.
well, what's sad is there was a slip up in the thing. So this woman called in and she said, "Hey, my husband was actually in the area and, maybe you want to interview him." And they went and interviewed him and like nothing really came up with it. And somehow his transcript, everything was lost. And there was a secretary who was going through everything and she found something and she's like, "I think we need to look at this again." And they pulled the guy back in. It was that guy.
Oh my god!
He spent like 2 hours in there. The way he described it, his description, everything. He was some local guy who worked at the local CVS.
And his wife turned him in.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Gross.
Well, she was just seeing it. She was just thinking
But
he
she
could be a
didn't-
witness.
Yeah,
huh?
she didn't turn him in because she just said
She thought he was just
She
gonna be a
just said,
witness.
"Hey, he was there at the park because it was a walkaway."
She's
like,
there
"He
at the
was there
park
at the
doing the
park,
murder. Maybe he
and-
knows.
He mentioned something about a
Did you
couple
check
of girls.
his trunk?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was. What was it? Said September 2022. Investigators reviewed a misfiled tip after a volunteer file clerk discovered the error, and the file was therefore wrongly marked as cleared. And then, and his name is Richard Allen, and it said it brought up the case as investigator. In the tip, Richard Allen self-reported 3 days after the murders. Oh, so self-reported. I thought it was his wife. That's my bad. But it said self-reported 3 days after the murders to being on the trails on the day of the murders and seeing Williams and German, which is the two girls. And then from there, they pieced it all together, put him into custody.
I got a personal question. So you follow a lot of that stuff. Does it mess with your mood for the day? Really? Oh, I can't follow that stuff.
He's got a dark soul.
It just ruins me.
This one, some of
He doesn't have a soul.
Dum-dum.
Low hanging fruit. It was right there. I had to.
no, some of them do. There's some that
dude.
I have to turn away from. Like on that one, there's a couple times listened to the few podcasts I've listened to. Like it's
like
you get upset. Like I start getting pissed off, and like it's funny if like you ever see me out there working and stuff, I'll start like underneath my breath. Like,
See, I've been just today because we want to cover it in a future episode. I've been watching the Ruby Franke files, and oh my gosh, man! And
It was worse than I thought.
Oh, it's way
Way worse.
worse,
I told
than I
you,
thought,
freaking-
and it really strikes me to the core just how
Yes.
checked out the father is. Like I want to strangle.
Thank you.
I wanna
Oh my
strangle
gosh.
him.
there's we'll get into it later, but real quick, just to touch on that.
Yeah.
There's a part at the very end because I watched, I think the last episode of Kara. I didn't get to
Don't
see the
spoil
other ones.
anything. I'm still
No.
working through it.
There's a part where they did talk to the husband,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Do you still love her?" And she goes, "Absolutely, I do. Still 100% in love with her." And
What a cuck.
But then he,
Oh,
but
no, yes.
Yeah.
Like 1,000,000%.
yeah, and it's like, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, and I looked at Kara and I said, "I'm sorry, but you pulled that crap. I'd tell you to go to hell." Like.
Oh,
I will
heck
send
yeah.
you to hell.
all love and caring and everything, like out the window.
Yeah.
I'd be done with you. Like you deserve everything you get.
Oh, everyone would be done with you.
yeah.
was she the? I
Eight
feel like
passengers, mom.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She's so.
I remember when we met him.
Stay tuned.
met him?
We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna cover this because I've had some personal interactions with Ruby and the husband, and Cam has as well.
Yeah.
I'm just doing. I wanted to do a really good coverage on it,
Yeah.
so I'm watching everything that I can on it. But it is just
Dude, we
heartbreaking.
started it. Me and Shaylee started watching it, and we were glued. We literally just watched all 3 in a row, like
yeah. Well,
nonstop.
I want to do even more than that. I want to see what the sleuths can find.
Dude, there's got to be so much more.
Yeah.
Dude, my
That's I'll
nephew
investigate too.
Brody, my nephew
about
met
this.
the freaking oldest son like this last weekend.
Really?
Yes, he got a picture with him.
That's funny.
It was way funny. I was like, and so Brody, he's also watched the documentary. I'm like, dang, dude.
I've ran into his social media that he has. The oldest son. He's on like TikTok, all that stuff, makes some videos.
It's just unreal. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's way, way worse than I even imagined.
Oh, it's getting crazy. So, question, because I do not remember this like I don't want to call it a milestone. It's not a milestone. It's a large life event that I feel like I would not have missed. So I feel like I'm living in a Mandela timeline. Is Charlie Murphy alive?
Charlie Murphy.
Is he what?
Is he alive?
Who's Charlie Murphy?
What?
Eddie Murphy's brother.
You don't know who Charlie Murphy is?
I don't either.
No.
Okay, never mind. I don't feel so bad anymore.
I mean,
Who the hell's Charlie Murphy?
Maybe
Okay.
I don't know that
Maybe
I've
I'd
ever
know
really heard of him either, but
Only on the Chappelle Show.
Yeah, I mean, so I found out the
It
other
is
day.
Eddie Murphy's brother. Yeah.
Yeah, I found out that he died in 2017, and
Dang.
I literally was like flabbergasted. I'm like, how did I not know that he passed away? I was so out of my mind.
dang.
Anyway,
Wow, he looks almost close to Eddie Murphy.
yeah,
Yeah, they look a lot alike.
he did a lot of like side things, and I don't know. Anyway, I came across that news and I was just flabbergasted. I was like, 2017, that was a long time ago. How did I not know this?
He's friends with Rick
Dude,
James.
speaking of weird celebrity brothers, I haven't looked fully into it, but have you seen that stuff about Bill Burr apparently having a half brother that he
No.
just found out about like weeks ago?
Get out.
Dude, I love Bill Burr.
Oh, I love Bill Burr. He's hilarious.
yeah,
We saw him live.
And it's apparently like it's a touchy subject.
Really?
Crazy.
So Billy Corgan, American musician, frontman for the Smashing Pumpkins,
Yeah.
is his half brother.
Get out. What?
I
Yeah.
see it.
I can see that
Wow.
too, actually.
He
Is it-
suggested, so Billy Corgan is the one I think that has pursued it. And he suggested that they might be half brothers, a claim that has gained attention in recent months. Story originated when Corgan appeared on Howie Mandel's podcast, Howie Mandel Does Stuff, where he shared a conversation with his stepmother who mentioned Burr's name and hinted at a possible familial connection. Mandel then staged a surprise meeting between Burr and Corgan during a podcast episode, which Burr was not initially aware of. Despite the initial awkwardness, both men have since addressed the rumors in interviews, with Corgan describing the situation as stumbled into something bigger than us. However, it says there's no concrete proof. I feel like I remember someone talking about an actual
Did they not
paternity
take
test.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I saw a podcast where somebody asked him, Bill Burr, that, and he's like, I don't want to talk about this. Like,
Really?
yeah, he's like, I don't want to like talk about this right now, and like pretty much shot it down.
Well,
It was wild,
He probably still needs to process it.
Yeah.
right?
Right? Because
Because I mean, yeah, you're probably learning now, both of them, that their father sleeping around with multiple women or
Well,
something.
yeah, and you have this grandeur idea of who your father is, and then it all comes crashing down many decades later. And man, I don't know what that feels like.
Meh.
Deep cut.
Anyway,
But yeah, isn't that freaking wild?
That is wild.
I definitely see it. Yeah,
anyway,
they look a lot alike.
what were we talking about? Bill Burr.
The birds and the
Burr?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr, that's a good
Bill Burr.
nickname. Bill Burr. Hey, Bill Burr.
Okay. Another thing I would love to talk on is, did you guys see that there's a documentary coming out on Stan Lee?
Yes.
Did you see this?
That looks wild.
It looks insane.
I feel like I'm going to be mad and sad.
I feel like I am going to be livid.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, because Stanley, there's now footage surfacing of Stanley, the creator of Marvel comics and all the superheroes that we know and love that are far superior to DC comics.
Yeah, except for Batman.
No, definitely Batman.
No, Batman's.
Oh,
And
gosh.
anyway, there's footage of Stanley at some of these fan conventions, and he's like, "Okay, are we done?" And this guy basically is like, "No, you're not done." He's like, "Now you gotta pep up.
Oh, that.
And you got to go out on stage, and you got to you're here to change people's lives." And he's like, "But I thought it was in the agreement that I'm done." He's like, "No, we got you for life." And basically just like
mistreated him the
Mistreating
whole
him.
rest of his life.
yeah, forcing him. And there's speculation that his family was milking him for every penny. And Disney.
Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a documentary in the works. I don't know when it's supposed
Who's
to
the
be
guy?
released.
The long-haired kid, the one that's like exposing it.
I don't know.
So
all I
so
saw
he
was
had
a
like it's
small-
like an assistant or something of his.
yeah.
And
Disney owns him for life. Is that
Well, not anymore.
right?
But yeah.
like, well, yeah. So
So did this
basically, this
Disney
guy,
owns
this
This
Wolverine
all
for
started when the movies started? Or
Probably.
even
probably
before that?
when things got super huge.
yeah.
Disney
so
owns
this
Hugh
long-haired-
Jackman for life.
This long-haired dude comes out, and
probably
he's in the
kicking that.
trailer for the documentary, and
Okay.
he basically says like, he's like, I was a witness to, the rest of the last years of Stanley's life, and at the time I couldn't do anything, but I had a camera and I recorded. So he recorded a whole bunch of stuff, and he's now trying to expose the mistreatment of him in his later years and stuff, and how people took advantage of him. There was one clip in there where they'd stuck him in like a storeroom, and they're like, wait here.
Yep.
And he's just in a room full of like random crap in a wheelchair, basically, and like just waiting to do whatever he's supposed to do.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Anyway, so stay tuned. We might, depending on when those documentaries drop, I would love to also converse about that. And I want to leave us on a story, but also pull up your jokes if you have any jokes. This one,
I got one for you.
I came across this story, and I was so excited to share it because it's hilarious. So it's called The Teacher's Pet Story. The classroom pet, I should call it. So this is from a teacher on Reddit. I copied this and everything, and basically the teacher alludes to that this is her horror story of a student in her class. We brought our students on a hike for a field trip. When we got back to school, one of the third graders let me know that we now have a class pet. I'm not a religious person, but I was praying that this student did not mean what I thought he meant. He informed me that he had caught an animal during the trip, kept it in his backpack, and brought it back to the school with him. He told me that his favorite animal is a spider. The child captured and brought back over 10 wolf spiders.
Oh my gosh.
They can get over 4 inches across, and they are aggressive. And when I asked him where they were, he told me that he, quote, let them in their new home. And he pointed to the library in the classroom. Oh, God. Obviously, we all panicked and emptied the classroom. What we didn't know is that the spiders had laid nests all over the classroom over the weekend. And when we had entered, the walls were covered in webs, and thousands of babies had hatched in the
fast?
room.
Nope.
That fast. Gosh. Holy crap. Light it on fire.
Bifin.
Oh, that's
Bifin.
ridiculous.
What else did we say? Sacrifice chickens. Sacrifice the third grader.
Send him in to either, to either tone them down or become their leader and take them out.
Gives a whole new meaning to a pop-up book. You open up.
All right, rounds of jokes. Jokes. Let's head on.
I got one. This is from Kaylee.
All right, Kaylee.
How can you tell if a snowman's a boy or girl?
by the Snowballs.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the placement of the carrot.
Alden's joke. Did you know I have 3 knees? A left knee, a right knee, and a weenie.
Same, bud. Same.
Nice.
That is awesome. I love the kid jokes, man. They're so funny.
I'm not prepared with jokes this
No
time
jokes?
I don't know. I'm looking.
One of Micah's favorite jokes is what what did the horse say to the cowboy when he took off his what is that called? Saddle. What did the horse say to the cowboy when he took off his saddle?
What?
I'm naked.
That's fun.
Oh.
There was one along those lines that I remember hearing. I can't remember what it was.
Why did the chicken cross the park?
Why?
To get to the other slide.
Cute.
Did we do the, what do you call a fish with no eyes?
All right. Last call. Any jokes?
What's the difference between a golf ball and a G-spot?
Take a turn. Children's jokes. Now we're on Zach.
That's not a turn. That's a
There was a cliff there.
I'm going to say
What's a G-spot?
Hang on, let me think.
both are hard to hit.
Golfing exists.
I have a chance of finding my golf ball.
Close. A guy will spend hours looking for a golf ball.
Yeah.
Nice.
Things are they can get expensive. It adds up.
They do, man. They're very expensive. All right. Hashtag snowballs down in the comments. Thank you so
Snowballs.
much for tuning in. Give us also some more ideas for topics in the future. We love any and all things to talk about, and your help really helps us. And we'll see you here next time. Bye, friends.
Love you guys.
Ciao.
Fit us in.
And thanks for being part of this crowd.
Arrivederci. I forgot what I'd say.
Speaking of topic ideas, for the love we have.